Welcome to the YouTube channel for a podcast named Tim. We're a father and son movie review podcast. We discuss 3 movies on each episode, a main feature, and then a movie that we each select to typically complement that. And basically, it's just that simple. We watch the movies and discuss them, not critical film critic reviews, but just how everyone would do when you walk outside the movie theater. How would you look over to the person beside you and say, what did you think of the movie? In the car ride home. It's always been one of my favorite parts of going to see a movie, is that car ride home discussing what you just saw. And so that's how we approach the show. Typically, our podcast, which is available everywhere podcasts are, iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, Anchor, etc. You can listen to it in the description below if you want to subscribe on a particular audio platform. But typically those episodes are 45 minutes to an hour, and so we wanted to make a YouTube channel to not only just have it for as an option, but also to cut it down to just a particular movie. So each episode of this YouTube series, you're going to be getting one particular movie that we reviewed instead of all 3, in case there's one you don't want to care about or don't care about our thoughts about. So this week, from episode 3 of the podcast, which the episode was entitled Cowboys, Nazis, and Salmon Monsters, we're going to be discussing King of the Cowboys. So we hope you enjoy this Roy Rogers film. Thank you.
Now we're going to go back to 1943. World War II is raging in Europe.
Leonard Sly.
With Leonard Sly, that's right.
I've never watched a Roy Rogers movie.
Neither had I until this. I watched this just so I could tell you to watch it.
Why I know about Dale Evans and Trigger and everything about him, I don't know. What's that? Yeah, I didn't. But look. You got cowboys and Nazis, saloon fights, sexy women, rodeos, carnivals, horse chases, gunfights. What? How could you go wrong?
You can't.
I love this movie.
Really?
I love this movie.
Okay, I'm glad. I actually enjoyed it. So I watched another Roy Rogers film this week. I watched South of Santa Fe, which was nowhere near as good as this. And I've actually started a third Roy Rogers film. I started watching Silver Spurs.
Oh,
I need to watch good, wholesome movies when my daughter's awake. And so, Roy Rogers.
Well, aren't they pretty much all the same?
No, they're very different quality. Okay. This is the best one so far.
Yeah, I like this. And I'll tell you, I have a new favorite song. Biscuit Blues was the bomb.
I don't even remember the song.
The guy sang Biscuit Blues to the guys, the Sons of the Pioneers. He was just, I guess they were complaining about what they were getting to eat all the time, and because he'd been feeding them biscuits for weeks on end. He sang a song called Biscuit Blues, and it might or might not be on my playlist on my thing now. I'm not gonna actually tell you.
Okay. I enjoyed it too. It was weird because it's so different. First of all, I don't think in the movie they actually specifically say they're Nazis. That's like
I was going to mention that to you, that I don't remember saying Nazi.
They don't actually say the word Nazi. I don't know if that's like a government thing. Like, don't say it.
Stay alive thing.
Yeah, they did. They never say Nazis in the movie. But when you read online, like the synopsis, the saboteurs. So basically, the premise of the movie: Roy Rogers, rodeo star, and King of the Cowboys, starring in King of the Cowboys.
That's right.
Is employed by the governor of Texas or it was of Texas?
Texarkana.
Yeah. So employed by the governor to find and spy on Nazis, saboteurs who are destroying weapons plants and hurting the war effort. This is 1943, man. This is the most American movie ever.
It made me pull up the flag. It was pretty good. And something I noticed, I don't think Roy Rogers was that bad of an actor.
No, he was good.
Better than John Wayne ever was.
I told you I almost gave you Dark Command.
Right.
I'll probably watch that eventually, which is the only film where the Duke and Roy Rogers are in on screen together or in a movie together. It was very interesting in some of my research just to this because like you said, I'd never seen Roy Rogers. Just how popular he was. I mean, I knew the name.
Well, I mean, yeah, exactly. Which they got, of course, from Will Rogers, who had been killed in a plane wreck a little before that. And his first name, Roy, came from King. That's French for king. So they came up with Roy Rogers. He said he had absolutely no input in his name whatsoever. They said, "Here's what your name is. Here's what you're going to do." So he's from like Cincinnati, Ohio. So we're not talking about he's not actually from the West. He wasn't really a cowboy. They kind of totally created him, and he took the ball and ran it. Gene Autry was winding down. Will was gone.
Thinking about money.
There you go. Trigger. That was great. Trigger was in every single movie and television show he ever made. From what I've seen, from what I read, he was only in one other movie. He actually was. Trigger was in a movie right before Roy Rogers made his first movie. He was written by Olivia de Havilland one time. They gave him to Roy and never looked back.
And he has like over 100 acting credits, if I remember correctly. I mean, it's a pretty extensive,
crazy.
I mean, B movie, Singing Cowboys. I'm not a huge Western fan, but I will say I like the Singing Cowboys better because everything else, like the dirty spaghetti Western, it's kind of like me and you, how we have our opinion of like medieval Europe. It's just dirty to be dirty. Who cares? Like Singing Cowboy, I like my cowboys to be clean cut and sing and, very just.
Sequins and tassels.
Absolutely. Very Garth Brooks. We like Rhinestone Cowboys.
I kind of like this movie.
Yeah, it was actually a solid film. And again, watching some of his other movies like I have this week, it's much better than those.
Yeah.
But it's just weird. It's always weird to see some of these films in World War II.